Good morning, wrestling fans. Welcome to PWR. Today, it is Friday morning. You've made it. It's the end of the week. It's April 23rd, 2021. The man they call Meathead. Hanging out with Matthew Thomas. Good morning, Matthew. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. This is the bottom side of the middle bun. We were talking about earlier this week that I'm kind of the middle bun, and we're kind of getting on the underside of that right now.
I mean, all around the world, it's the same song. Matthew, I know it's not wrestling related, but I think our fans will appreciate this. I'm in a bit of mourning right now. It's your chance to do the dance, Matthew. Let's do the hump.
Yeah, let's do that. That would it's not even Wednesday. It's not even hump day.
Do you think that there'll be something on Smackdown? I mean, I'm not trying to make fun of it or light of it, but I mean, honestly, where am I going to be able to mourn the passing of Shock G / Humpty Hump?
Well, I think that you can mourn in your own particular way. There's no
shimmy,
right or wrong
shimmy,
way to
Cocoa
mourn.
Pop, shimmy, shimmy, Cocoa Pop, Mimi chocolate crossover. That's where Tupac got to start, was the Digital Underground.
I don't think I realized that.
Yeah. My favorite song by Digital Underground is in Humpty Dance, even though Humpty Dance is fun. But it is All Around the World. It's the same old song. It was the lead track, the lead single for the soundtrack to Nothing But Trouble, a absolutely awful movie with a lot of big name stars. Chevy Chase, John Candy, Dan Aykroyd, Demi Moore. I mean, holy smokes. And the band literally performs the song in the middle of the movie. Nothing.
Wow, that sounds like a loaded cast.
Yeah, the movie, Eugene Levy, the movie was just terrible.
Wow. What time period are we talking about?
Early 90s.
Really?
This is right before I think Demi Moore is about to go G.I. Jane, right in that Indecent Proposal era.
Okay.
Right before
so
that.
Early 90s. I got you.
Yep.
I might have to check that out and report that.
Listening to the whole movie, it's going to cause you nothing but trouble. I'll tell you that right now.
Duly noted.
But Kiss You Back, Humpty Dance. I listened to that whole album. No nose job, do-de-o, do to be no nose job. Said do-de-o, do, no nose job. Are you okay?
I think so, yeah. I'm good. I tell you, the thing of it is, though, I think there's probably a market for a lot of that stuff covered by Elvis.
People say you're Humpty, man, and now wait, how's it go again? People say you're Humpty, man, now something is bumping. God, it's been forever. I haven't heard that. People say you're Humpty, man. The records is selling. Ain't it about time for you to be bailing out of that community and race that you come from? Your face has got to change, son.
Were truer words ever spoken?
Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, I know we're here to listen to wrestling, but I'm bummed, man. I love that guy. It was one of those bands that had the huge big hit. Everybody learned about them and then really weren't around for, a lot of popularity after. But I'll tell you what, that video, not only did it have Dan Aykroyd in it, had Dr. Dre, it had Eazy-E in it. I mean, it was one of those kind of videos, man.
And the thing of it is, not too many people know artists for what hits big. Not many people know the deep cuts like the man they call Meathead.
Yeah, let's talk about a deep cut when you're using your manscaping.com. Don't get too deep cut using the promo code PWR into your wallet. It'll save you 20% and get you silky smooth like Dave the Zohan Hero with manscaped.com. And then Linda Kay wants to give you her promo code, which is Linda Kay, Kay. For collarandelbowbrand.com, it'll save 10% on the latest and greatest in street fashion at collarandelbowbrand.com. Do you like the way I took what you said and made it a segue?
That might have been one of our best segues that we've ever had. That was outstanding. The only thing that would make it a better segue is if we went into that and that comment that I just made, and we were actually sponsored by Segway.
Yeah, we'll have to work on that. Now, the segue that's real or the segue from South Park where Mr. Garrison had it from the front end and the back end?
I think we could go for both.
You'll be the one demonstrating the back end because you are from Colorado, so you're right down the street from South Park.
You know what? That is, I think that would be very appropriate.
apropos, something like that. Let's talk the news. Kind of a big deal in the news here. Mickie James was released, right? Last week, she was part of the big cuts.
Yep, we're a little over a week away from that.
Mickie James left some gear behind, and hey, when you leave, you've been set free to explore other employment opportunities. You're not allowed back in the building to come get your stuff. Like I left my pencil cup holder, to come get it. They'll mail it to you. I mean, that's what a company should do, right? Get you your gear back. But these wrestlers put so much money and time and effort into their outfits that they wear. Do you think it's classy or déclassé to send somebody's, let's put it like this, send their shit back in a cardboard box in a garbage bag?
Cardboard box, maybe. Garbage bag, not so much.
Mickie James on Instagram put up a video of her unboxing the quote-unquote care package, a garbage bag, a black hefty bag with a green sticker on it that said Mickie. She opened it up and it was her ring gear. Super classy. Thanks, WWE.
Yeah, and a multi-billion-dollar corporation with it's publicly traded. You can look at this and you can say an oversight by somebody who didn't. But here's the deal: you've got to have better self-awareness than that. Even if there was nothing ill intent about this whole thing, having people there in your company that has such a lack of self-awareness, you just can't have that happen.
So a little story on the person who is being alleged, because again, we can't prove this, but this is the story that's out there, to have sent her stuff back in a garbage bag. He has also been released. His name, Mark Carano, and apparently he's been on E's Total Divas a bunch of times, but he was quote unquote the bad guy, not Razor Ramon, thank you, but the guy that Vince would send or talent relations would send to tell people, hey, we are going to set you free to explore other employment opportunities, promoting to fan of the WWE universe. So he was the one that would knock on the door, kind of like you ever watch Hard Knocks on HBO?
I've seen an episode or two.
Okay, so, when they start cutting the team down, start releasing players, he's the guy that'll knock on your door, need you to come to the coach's office with your playbook. Yeah. He's that guy that cuts them loose. But seriously, dude, a garbage bag? Come on, man.
Yeah, and it's 2021, and you've got talent that's most likely not going to be very happy about what happened last week, and you've got cameras on your phone, and you've got social media.
Yeah, social media kind of screams pretty loud because wrestlers, in particular, are very adept at using social media. And, they have some of the biggest social media presences. This did not bode well for Mr. Mark Carano. How does he explain that at his next job interview, wherever he goes? Hey, I'd be really good in your talent relations. Are you the guy that sent somebody's shit bag in a garbage bag?
Yeah, that's something you don't lead with on your resume.
No. Quoting Mike Chioda when he was removed from WWE, he lied to me the day that when he called to let me go. Again, I don't know if this guy's just one of those that doesn't, take confrontation all that well. So, in the NFL, especially on Hard Knocks, those guys are actually really good about it, at least the stuff that you see on camera, where they're like, look, we're going to have to let you go today. Here's why we're letting you go. And, you did everything right. It's just a numbers game. It's this, this, and this. If Mark Carano, who was the person that was the bad guy, now apparently John Laurinaitis is going back to that role, but if Mark Carano was the guy that was doing this, he would have gained a lot more respect and said, hey, due to numbers, we don't have a spot for you right now. We're going to let you go. Yeah, I think the talent would handle it a lot better.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, you're trying to explain it from a business perspective and why ultimately the decision is made.
Wow. That one blows me away a little bit. Daniel Bryan said he was trying to get out of the WrestleMania 37 main event. That kind of catches me off guard. It feels like Daniel Bryan really, when he was in his promos, was saying this might be his last run through WrestleMania. I got a feeling Daniel Bryan might be just fading into the background now.
It's very possible, and that's kind of what these comments sound like. And it's the thing of it is, I don't know that we ever thought we would get this this act of Daniel Bryan, this run.
Well, he made it to the main event of WrestleMania 37, the first one in front of fans in 1 year, 1 month, and 1 day. And it might be his last. And do you think, since we saw Daniel Bryan forced to retire due to the neck issues, the man that worked his way all the way back, do you think that we would have got Daniel Bryan in the main event?
That's tough to say. It's I think the thing that really stuck out to me this year with the main event that we got was, you just go back 3 years ago when Roman was out with his leukemia battle, when Edge had been gone for almost a decade, and Bryan was in that GM role. I don't think anybody thought you were going to get these three in a WrestleMania main event. So if we don't get Bryan back at a Mania, I think this was a very fitting way for potentially it to end, in the fact that you got to see three guys in a ring together that you most likely never would have thought you would have seen.
Let's talk about The Undertaker. We haven't seen The Undertaker in a little bit. I mean, obviously, he had that nice big ramp up towards Survivor Series. Had the special, had the the Stone Cold podcast, everything that was going on with the Taker. Well, the Taker was on an interview with Joe Rogan, and it was alleged that he called the current WWE product soft. Now, Taker wanted to clarify. He was making sure that he says, look, I'm not bashing our talent. Our talent is extraordinary. What they physically are able to do, I couldn't imagine doing that back in the day. He goes, it's just a different time. We didn't have trainers on the road. If you had torn gear, you either wore it torn or you tried to fix it yourself. So proud of the evolution of the business. So not soft so much as in, they're, I would say, coddled more so, because you have people out on the road, that'll take care. Yeah, seamstress, with you out on the road while you're going from town to town. Somebody that could sew up your gear, give you haircuts, do all that other stuff. Back in the day, Undertaker was wearing black electrical tape on his boots. I remember watching some WCW stuff, going to a WCW house show. I'm like, is the Giant got a big run in his singlet, and he had that on TV for the next 3 weeks. So, that's how it was back in the day.
It's just a different era altogether, and I think the Stone Cold documentary we watched the other night, still fresh in our minds. Just 20, 25 years ago, that era that Taker's talking about, it's a different ball game. And at that period, you're still coming. Yeah, you've got the Attitude Era. You've got the curtains gradually starting to be pulled back. But at that time period, you've got guys in the industry that grew up in that came up in a product where you might very well have a riot where people are trying to get at heels that had a lot of heat.
Yeah.
And the whole soft comment, a lot of these guys in this era now that are wrestling, they've never been in a situation where, yeah, you got to wrestle a match, but you've got to look at for your own protection from this crowd too, where you are an absolutely despised person whose life could very well be in danger. And the whole soft comment, you just really got to look at this industry compared to what it was going back a generation. And I don't think a lot of times we necessarily acknowledge the fact that this is a completely 180-degree turn from how this product was presented back a generation ago.
Now, we don't have pipers, getting booed and attacked by old ladies with handbags nowadays. But if we had anybody, I think that is the dastardly deal, a heel that would be in that case. I'd say MJF.
Yeah.
MJF has got to be the closest to being one that might, get his teeth kicked in after a show.
And the thing of it is, and I think really what has further cemented us away from that environment is social media. You just go on social media, and there's probably still a handful of guys out there. Nobody comes to mind. Maybe MJF. I don't think he's doing much to necessarily counter his character on social media, but you just go online and you see folks playing video games or
Yep.
doing something or rescuing kittens from trees. And
Or taking baths in a big swimming pool with tigers.
yeah, you're consistently reminded that this person's playing a role. And it's just, man, it's so different from different from a bygone era.
Okay. Let's talk about SmackDown coming up tonight. More fallout from Cesaro's being attacked by Seth Rollins. Cesaro approached the champ. He approached the head of the table, Roman Reigns, and was made to work his way through Jey Uso. At the end of the match, or end of the night, Rollins attacks Cesaro and screams, "This is not over." Do you think this is just a way to stretch it out and prolong it for Cesaro to make his way back to Roman Reigns?
Yeah, I do. And in a lot of ways, I'm happy to see this because my concern for Cesaro is that he is Reigns' first post WrestleMania opponent. And I don't think in many cases that's ever boding well for the challenger.
No.
Yeah,
That can't be. Yeah.
yeah. And that's kind of the same reason for, over on the AEW side of the tracks. I don't want to see number one contender Hangman go immediately into something with Omega right now because I
They get
feel
burned
like
by the heat.
yeah, you're just building up this multi-belt Omega run. And so yeah, I think it's probably a good idea for them to pull back. That being said, I don't necessarily know that you've got a lot of face opponents for Reigns over on SmackDown, and maybe this reign, no pun intended, becomes a deal where he's not defending every pay-per-view.
No, WrestleMania Backlash. Honestly, I believe we're going to see Edge go one-on-one with Roman Reigns. I think that is, to me, it's written in stone.
Yeah.
And that's where it should go. I mean, don't ask Goldberg his opinion on Edge, but Roman Reigns, Edge, which is what was supposed to be the main event, WrestleMania one-on-one. It is possible that Edge wins it and then drops it back to Roman Reigns, but really Roman should keep it all the way through.
Yeah, and I want to see Edge and Roman. My question about that though is I thought we would have gotten movement on it last week. And that
That's okay.
almost makes
1 week.
but it almost makes me wonder if, Edge goes kind of a special attraction route. And I know he was a week to week person basically from the Rumble to Mania, but maybe he is somebody who pops up at SummerSlam and Survivor Series. I think we're really going to get a big chunk of that puzzle figured out tonight.
Absolutely. Plus Bianca Belair, the Street Profits, Otis, and Chad Gable, and much, much more tonight on SmackDown. I do want to talk real quick before we go this morning. Coming up this Sunday, Impact Rebellion. You talk about Omega. Let's talk about Rich Swann, and let's talk about a unification title match. The Impact Championship, the AEW World Championship, security guard Cal Hero, the Fanny Pack Kid. Let's talk about it this Sunday.
I watched Impact last night, and like subsequent weeks, they've really done nothing to make me believe that Rich Swann really has a chance. And I would like my disbelief to be suspended a little bit more going into Sunday. But I think it's pretty clear Omega's walking out with that undisputed title. And I think the writing's especially on the wall in the fact that you do have Rich Swann carrying the undisputed title, which is the Impact and Moose's former TNA title. I think that just lends itself to giving Omega not one, but two belts to walk around with. And I think that's exactly where they're going. And if you watched last night, you would see the seeds are planted. They're already moving on for what looks like to be a potential Moose Swann interaction after Swann loses the titles. And I think the money to come out of this whole AEW Impact deal is ultimately going to be Omega and Moose.
You think that there's money with Omega versus Moose?
Absolutely. I think that is out of anybody in that in that company right now to try to go back and try to get the Impact title back, I think Omega Moose is the most appealing.
Okay. All right. Well, pay-per-view this Sunday. We'll have to see how that shakes out. You know, they're not with Impact airing on Thursdays now after AEW on Wednesday nights. We're getting less Frank Thomas, less Doug Flutie, you know, Dick Pill commercials. Well,
yeah. I don't even know that I saw one. I saw a bunch of Flair, but I don't know that I saw one Frank Thomas commercial.
Hey, I'm curious too. Do we need to alert our friend, our pal, Cal Hero, the Fanny Pack Kid, to watch out for that big gaping hole known as Tony Khan's Forbidden Door?
If you go back and watch last week, and you even watched last night, the replays, Cal got some prominent featuring, and I mean, he was in Khan's orbit there. I mean, they were just feet apart, and you got to think, man, that thing is, with as many people as passing through, that thing's turning into basically a sinkhole at this point.
Tony Khan's Forbidden Door is a sinkhole, is what you just said.
That's exactly what I said.
Finally, let's talk about what's coming up tonight after SmackDown. Matthew Thomas on the SNE Network. The man they call Meathead will be joining Andrew Baydala. We will have the results of the PWR draft for the last season. I will be crowned the new draft champion. Your thoughts?
To me, this sounds like another Forbidden Door that's opening up.
Yeah, well, as long as I get my trophy, as long as I get my parade, that's all I care.
I mean, this is outstanding. Think about this. On the same weekend that the AEW champion is wrestling for the Impact title, the man they call Meathead is crossing over to another show to be featured prominently on their brand.
Matthew, I'm opening up the door for all of us to go over there next week.
You are the brave individual that is going over there and just bashing that door wide open so that not only yourself, but myself and Linda Kay can get through that door.
Yeah, because Dave's already been over there. I mean, I ain't going to tell you how I got, passage into there. Maybe it was Dave that helped out. I don't know. But yes, PWR SNE Network tonight after SmackDown on the SNE Network, and we will announce myself as the new PWR Draft Champion.
Fantastic. That is must-see TV right there.
It is must-see TV. Well, we must be going as well. For Matthew Thomas, I'm the man they call Meathead. Enjoy your week. We'll see you tonight on the SNE Network. So long, everyone.